His father was a con man. His family was broke. He started with 50 cents a day and died worth $25 trillion. This is not a success story.
Stop
this
the
is a
oil
takeover.
monopoly!
John D. Rockefeller, the richest man who ever lived.
Imagine a $25 trillion fortune, more money than the economies of Germany, Japan, and the UK combined. For proportion, Elon Musk's peak wealth was 0.3% of the US economy. Rockefeller's was 1.5%, 5 times larger. That massive slice of the pie belonged to John Davison Rockefeller. He was a man who grew up in a house with no heat in the winter, raised by an absent con artist father who disappeared for months at a time to sell fake cancer cures out of a wagon. Rockefeller engineered a cold, inescapable system to control the flow of oil, transforming a chaotic resource into the largest private fortune in history. Look at this photograph from 1859. This is the first successful commercial oil well drilled in Titusville, Pennsylvania. Within months of this strike, thousands of men abandoned their farms and families, pouring into western Pennsylvania to chase black gold. This chart tracks the resulting chaos. The price of oil swung violently, hitting $10 a barrel one month and crashing to 10 cents the next. Drilling for oil in those early days was a literal gamble.
Young John Rockefeller watched this chaos, but his reaction was entirely different. Growing up with a father who paid his own sons interest on small loans to teach them life's cruelties had instilled in John a deep hatred of risk and unpredictability. At 16, he took a job as an assistant bookkeeper in Cleveland for 50 cents a day. From his very first paycheck, he tracked every penny he earned and spent in a small red notebook he called Ledger A. He didn't gamble his wages, he hoarded them with religious discipline. While thousands of desperate prospectors were throwing their lives away trying to beat the odds in the mud, Rockefeller was quietly figuring out how to own the casino itself. Rockefeller realized that drilling was a sucker's game. To win, he had to ignore the extraction entirely and focus on the industry's bottleneck, the refineries. If he could control what happened to the oil after it came out of the ground, he would control the entire supply chain. He entered the refining business in 1863, eventually founding Standard Oil. As seen in this massive aerial view, he built an industrial empire driven by an obsessive focus on efficiency. He visited his plants daily, questioning every operational cost and ruthlessly cutting unnecessary expenses. While his competitors dumped their refining waste into local rivers, Rockefeller captured those byproducts and packaged them. He sold the waste as lubricants, Vaseline, and paint additives, squeezing profit out of every single drop. By locking down the processing phase, he removed all the risk. It didn't matter which prospector actually struck oil, because eventually they all had to pay Rockefeller to refine it. To eliminate his remaining competition, Rockefeller deployed a series of incredibly aggressive tactics. This flowchart breaks down his first major move: secret contracts guaranteeing Standard Oil drastically lower shipping rates. But he didn't stop at discounts. He forced railroads to pay him a percentage of competitors' fees. Rivals were unknowingly funding Standard Oil every time they shipped oil. If a rival still refused to fold, Rockefeller introduced predatory pricing. He would flood their local market with oil priced entirely below the cost of production, willingly taking a loss for as long as it took for the independent refiner to run completely out of cash. Once a competitor was bankrupt and desperate, Rockefeller would present an ultimatum. He offered to buy their ruined business for pennies on the dollar, a tactic he politely referred to as the process of absorption. The public backlash sparked a decade-long legal battle that ended at the United States Supreme Court in 1911. The court ruled that Standard Oil violated antitrust laws and ordered the behemoth to be broken up into 34 separate companies. Watch what happens to the value, though. Because Rockefeller retained shares in all 34 of the newly separated entities, and those individual companies were now free to operate independently, their combined stock value exploded. The punishment actually made him richer. The infrastructure he built was so deeply embedded in the American economy that dismantling the corporate entity couldn't stop the underlying system from printing money. Rockefeller had stepped away from active business at age 58. For the next 40 years, he applied the exact same cold, systematic logic to giving his money away, inventing the modern practice of strategic philanthropy. He gave away over $500 million with extreme precision. He built this institution, the University of Chicago, from the ground up. He also financed targeted medical research that successfully eradicated the hookworm parasite from the American South. He died at 97 years old, having outlived almost everyone who had ever fought him in the oil fields or the courtrooms. Rockefeller's legacy demonstrated that